What's up, guys? This is Nolan Makatche. Welcome to the Maritime Mind podcast. And today I'm talking about my productivity system. So I've been able to remain consistently productive for years now, but I wasn't always this way. Some of what I know now has come from past mistakes and trial and error. Bootstrapping company solo has made consistency a necessity for me. It's all on me. There isn't anyone to shift responsibilities to. So I realized to be successful at this game long term, I need to be the best version of myself. I also need to get the most out of my days. So this is my method for achieving that. My productivity is enabled by four core pillars: purpose, focus, a task management system, and my self-care routine. All four are necessary to maximize productivity. Your system will likely look different from mine, though, because it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. We all need to design our own systems that allow us to consistently show up and do our best work. It's also important to keep your system in permanent beta by always seeking to improve it. All right, so let's talk about number one, purpose. Purpose has to come first because we need a strong why to remain disciplined over time. Our purpose is the compass that guides our decisions. Without this, we default to instant gratification. All right, so my why is to be the best version of myself. And to me, this means self-directed learning, optimizing my health, practical, sustainable living, living frugally, being kind to all, striving to make the best of the worst, spending time with those that I love, and striving to never waste a moment. Does this sound idealistic? Well, that's intentional. Your core purpose should be something that you strive for. There is no final destination. This is something you carry with you throughout life. It doesn't matter if you're on your deathbed or if you're in your prime. You can always strive for your best. All right, I'm striving to leave this world better than when I found it. That's my goal. Now let's talk about focus. The direction of your attention determines the direction of your growth. To achieve any long-term goal, you must focus on the process of getting there. Many make the mistake of obsessing over the outcome, though. You need to be in love with your process. If you don't enjoy it, you will burn out. Obsessing over the outcome takes you away from the present moment. With the right process, the outcome will take care of itself. This is why I avoid long-term planning. I have long-term goals, but not a long-term plan to get there. Life is uncertain. Long-term plans use yesterday's thinking to solve tomorrow's problems. Long-term planning is all hypothetical. It's a waste of energy. It's why many never even get started in the first place. They are too overwhelmed by analysis by paralysis to make that first step. I plan 1 week out at a time and take each day as they come. You don't need a crystal clear vision of the end, just the present moment. This quote by Anne Lamott really explains this well. Writing a novel is like driving a car at night. You can see only as far as your headlights, but you can make the whole trip that way. This quote applies to any long-term goal, not just writing a novel. It takes faith and trust to operate this way, but it's really the only way. Try otherwise and see how far you make it. Long-term planning is a recipe for burnout or not even getting started in the first place. Now that we've talked about focus, let's discuss my task management system. To remain productive, we need clarity. We need to know what to work on and when. This requires an intentional system for managing tasks. My system has become more robust over the years. I used to keep most of the things in my head, and this led to constant mistakes and missed opportunities. My rule now is to never intentionally memorize anything. When I have an idea or something external that I need to reference later, I've learned that I need to store it somewhere other than my brain immediately. Memorization has a low value with a high opportunity cost. And there's four reasons for this. Conservation of energy. We have a limited amount of energy every day, so we need to conserve that. The act of holding on to information takes you away from the present moment. Value comes from our ability to find answers, not recall them. And last but not least, true memorization comes naturally from repeated practice. So I never intentionally try to memorize anything, but I do memorize things that I repeatedly use, and because that just comes naturally. All right, so where do I keep all my ideas and thoughts and things that I need to write down? Well, that depends. For quick ideas and reminders, I simply just write them down. Index cards, sticky notes, and sticky notes are my best friends for this. I always have them with me. To keep track of tasks, I use Todoist. Todoist holds all my tasks, my routine tasks, my appointments, my future tasks, and my someday maybe tasks. My routine tasks and appointments are scheduled so that they automatically show up on my schedule each day. I don't have to think about it. So you can use any to-do app for this, though. You don't need to use Todoist. Use an app that works for you. I also use a legal pad to keep track of my day-to-day tasks for work. My system for this is to write down my tasks for the next day when I finish work. This way, I have no wasted time figuring out what to do the next day, and I go to sleep each night knowing exactly my plan for the next day. I might be a little bit old school with this, but I just like crossing off the task as I get done the day. All right, it helps me as I go through the day. It helps me I guess build momentum. But whatever works for you. That's my way of intentionally setting up my next day and knowing exactly what to do each day. To set intention in my life, I journal. My journaling practice consists of daily journaling, a weekly and monthly and yearly review. So, my daily journal has a morning and night journal where I answer the same prompts daily. I won't go in depth about my daily journaling practice, but for more on this, feel free to check out the video in the description to see my exact process for daily journaling in action. It's on my YouTube channel as well. I also do a weekly journal review. For this, I reflect on 3 key areas in my life: work, relationships, and personal development. My weekly review is where I make adjustments to my goals, track progress, and set new goals. At the end of each month, I do a monthly review. I also do my yearly review for each year that passes. Without my journaling practice, I'd be completely lost. It helps me stay adaptable to the uncertainty in life and process events and keep track of my goals and make sure that my goals are aligned with new information and the progress that I'm making. Now let's talk about my self-care routine. None of this would be possible without self-care. The 2 things that had the biggest impact on me with self-care is prioritizing sleep and daily exercise. Now let's talk about number 1, sleep. So I once lived by the phrase, "I'll sleep when I die." This is great if you want to speed up your path to death, but I thought the key to productivity was to maximize hours worked and minimize sleep. I was an idiot, but I just didn't understand how important sleep was. It wasn't until I read the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker when I began to realize how important sleep is for us. This book changed my life when I applied the insights I learned from it. To do great work, you need great sleep. Great sleep requires intentional sleep hygiene. This means for me, limiting light exposure before bed as well as water and cutting off caffeine before late in the day. Cutting off caffeine has been very pivotal for me. I used to drink tea, or even back in the day, I used to drink energy drinks later in the afternoon into the early evening, and I'd wonder why I had trouble falling asleep at midnight, 1 a.m. I'd be wide awake, and I thought I had insomnia, but really I just need to be intentional about when I consume caffeine. So that was a big one for me. Now, let's talk about exercise. I exercise daily because humans are not meant to be sedentary. Our ancestors exercised every day by necessity. This was called survival for them. Today, we need to be intentional about exercising. Some people have decided to hate exercise, but I enjoy it. It's all about your perspective. There are many ways to make exercise enjoyable. All right. So we choose what we enjoy based on our beliefs. I choose to enjoy activities that align with a healthy life and to avoid cheap dopamine. Oftentimes, people overcomplicate their exercise routine, which makes it very difficult to be consistent. I keep my exercise routine simple, and that is why it's something I can do every single day. I don't go to the gym. I just do simple body weight exercises like push-ups and sit-ups. No need for fancy equipment because I value long-term consistency over short-term efficiency. Keeping this process simple is the reason I can't recall the last time I missed a day. And if you do miss a day, never miss twice. That's the rule. Now, there are some other key elements in my self-care routine that we should talk about now. So these help me remain productive, but they're just not as important as sleep or exercise. So daily meditation, deliberate cold exposure. I end my shower with a cold shower. I eat healthy, which means minimizing added sugar and limiting my portions. I go for walks. Intentional stillness, which really is just giving my brain space to think. You know, our minds need time without external stimulation. That's when ideas come to us. There is a reason that people commonly get ideas in the shower, because clarity comes from stillness. I'm always learning. If I was depending on what I know from personal experience, I would not get very far. So I read a little bit every day. I'm always consuming some type of educational content that I can apply to my life. And last but not least, no alcohol for me. So I gave up alcohol 3 years ago, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. But guess what? At first, this was a tough decision. I come from an Irish family where everybody drinks. I thought weddings and family parties would be awkward without alcohol. So I thought I was giving up a lot, but I didn't realize how much I'd be gaining. No hangovers, better health, less wasted time, less wasted money, and even more important, better sleep. By the way, weddings and family parties are more fun now than ever. I have better conversations and have more great memories. So I'm actually there. All right, everybody is different. Find a system that works for you. Your routine should always be evolving. I'm constantly tweaking my routine to get it just 1% better because 1% better with a routine compounds over time. It's something you do every day. That's my system for consistently showing up and doing my best work. The four pillars, purpose, focus, task management, and self care, are critical for any productive routine, though these pillars will look different for each person. Your routine should be customized to your needs. Pick the habits that help you remain consistent and accumulate compound growth. All right, that's all I got for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you could do me a favor and leave a review down below, that helps push this podcast to more people. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Take care.